To the 6 a.m. Swingers Club here with David Hill, Sensei David Hills, and Kendra. And today's Thursday, June 18th already. Wow.
All day.
This month is flying by. It's a beautiful day here in the state of Maine. This is where we have our beautiful studio, which is our home. And today, what are we going to be learning today, David?
Technique today we're going to do is called the windmill. We're going to work on the high windmill, a couple of different variations of it because we need it for next week when we do the turkey scale.
Okay, sounds
Sort
good.
of the piece that we haven't done.
Now, if you joined us yesterday, we did just the beginning of the windmill.
We did the low windmill.
Yeah, and kind of learning how to kick our hips out, which, again, is one of those things that he makes it look easy. And once you get it down, it's not difficult, but you do want to make sure that you have your form correct when you're doing any of these moves.
So before we get started on that, though, there's a little exercise I wanted to show you guys, which we'll actually have Kendra demonstrate. And all you need is just a stick. This is a broom handle. And what you're going to do is stand with your feet wide apart and hold this with your hands wide apart. Wider. Bring this up overhead, elbows locked. Now sit back into your hips like you're going to do your swing. Yep, and try and not let this come forward. So the higher you can keep that, the better. Yeah, do 3 of those. Try and lock your elbows out. Shoulders. Yeah. Another one. Good. Now keep it just like that. Bring your feet in close. Do 3 more. Lower it down to your lower back a little bit. Now bring your feet back wide, a little wider. Now bring your hands in narrow, a little more narrow. Do 3 of those. Your upper back. See how they all already want to come forward?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you can do this in a doorway with this on either side of the door so that it doesn't come forward at all. And that really dials it in. So now the last one is narrow grip, narrow feet. This one is going to go low back and upper back. This is hard.
Yeah. Automatically wants to move front.
Right.
And you gotta try to keep your head up too.
Yeah, you want to keep your head up, your arms
Because my
out.
neck wants to go forward.
Absolutely. And what this is really going to do is it's going to work on the flexibility of your spine forward and back. It's actually one of those things where when you do it, you're like, wow, I needed to stretch that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to keep your form correct on that one.
It is. So yeah, I learned that one from Steve Cotter. I don't know if
Let's see
Warren Cudell's first generation. Who's on here? James.
Who else do we have? Teresa, George, good morning, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. So for those of you who have been with us before, we start out with a little bit of knowledge from Sensei David Hills, who is a certified kettlebell instructor. And then we go into a 15-minute actual kettlebell workout that you can join us with. Make sure you have your kettlebell with you, obviously. And if you don't have one, point to yourself and say, I need to go get a kettlebell.
Okay, so the technique that we're going to work on today is called the low windmill. Now, yesterday we put the kettlebell down on the floor. We turned our feet 45 degrees. We kicked our hip back. Now, keeping our back straight. So just like when we do our regular kettlebell swing, we keep our back straight. When we do the movement to the side, it is the same. We don't bend the back at all. So what happens is that when your spine is straight, when your posture is straight, you have the most strength in your body. As soon as your spine starts to bend, your strength goes away. So when you do any of these kettlebell exercises, you want to keep your spine straight the entire time. I've had people come in and they say, oh, I can't do kettlebell. I have a back injury. Biggest thing that people say is they say, oh, I have fused discs in my back. And I say, great. You're ahead of the game because you never bend your back in kettlebell. The more you keep your back straight, the better it is. You could have spinal fusion from your tailbone to your cranium, and you'd be a better kettlebell person than most people.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So anyway, the one we're going to do today is the the high windmill. But we're going to do it from the ground. So we're going to get down in a lunge position. I want to make sure that my front leg, the tibia, is plumb, and the back leg, is going to be a straight line. It's going to be a plumb line from my knee all the way to my shoulder. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opposite hand, whatever knee is forward, I'm going to take the opposite hand and I'm going to put it out straight. I'm going to lock my elbow out. I'm going to put it on the ground, not by bending my back, but by kicking my hip back. So, you see that stick for a moment? So in other words, I'm going to keep my back straight. I'm going to keep my back straight, and I'm going to kick my hip over to lower my hand down. So this is the movement of the body. So we're going to do a couple of those. Just here, why don't you come beside me, Kendra? And we'll do a couple of those without the kettlebell first. So put this hand on your hip. Put this hand, lock it out straight. You're going to place that hand on the floor by moving your hip towards that window. So you're going to kick your hip over, yep, and more and more and more and more until it hits the ground. Now you're going to rise by pushing your hip back. So think of it as a movement of the hip. Yeah? See what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do want more light. I do automatically.
You automatically want to curl your back and bend it to reach down, but resist that temptation. You're going to make that hand touch the ground solely by moving your hip out of the way. Yes.
And it helps to tighten the core.
It's going to be a necessity.
Because if you don't tighten the core, the thing you want to do is move your back.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to take a relatively light kettlebell, and you're going to hold it in this hand. Do it the other way. There you go. You're going to press it overhead. Press it overhead. Now, what I want.
Lighter on this because.
So what you're going to do is you're going to keep your eye on the kettlebell. This is important. This is incredibly important. Once you press it overhead, let's move our hand a little bit. I want you to look up at the kettlebell and keep your eyes on it as you kick your hip over and place the hand on the ground. You can go off. Don't take your eyes off the kettlebell. Try and get your hand all the way flat on the ground, and then come back up.
Really, it really taxes your balance.
Mm-hmm.
I lose my balance when I look up like that. My knee is.
So ultimately, what's going on here? The reason why you have to have your eyes looking at the kettlebell is because once you get down here, if the kettlebell starts to move off plumb, you need to be able to tell. You need to be able to see it. So you want to go from a straight line to a straight line. And that should be a straight line from your hand all the way to the other hand. Okay? And up. Now, if this is one of the things that you can do is this. If you're having a challenge with this, is go ahead and get back in there. Hand up straight. Just use a shoe. Now, don't hold on to it. You're going to balance it. Right? So this way, if the shoe falls, it's not going to hurt you.
Hard.
It is hard. It is hard. This is difficult. This requires a little bit of flexibility in your low back. So this one is going to be a piece of. That's why we do this today. When we go to do the Turkish get-up next week, we move to this position, to this piece of it. So your homework for tonight is going to be to work on that movement. Now, one of the easiest ways to really dial it in is with that shoe. And you can do it this way. Make a fist, place the shoe on top of your hand. That way, you for sure aren't going to be gripping it.
That's a good way to do it, because when I have my hands around it, I want to.
Yeah, you want to
grip.
hold on to it.
Yeah.
And that's, it's going to make it so the shoe doesn't fall, but it doesn't really dial in the work the way you need to.
Should I try the other side?
You want to try the other side? All right. We got a couple of minutes before our workout starts.
I must have lean knees. Oops.
Okay, this side. Now you're talking. Now you back up. Bring your arm all the way to your ear. Yeah. Get your palm flat.
Baby steps.
Well, that's the starting position.
Oh. That's a long way down.
It is a long way down. Now you're talking. All right.
The good thing it wasn't the kettlebell.
It is. All right. So one of the ways that I explain this to people is that in Japan, they developed this incredible technology with the buildings. So the issue is that they have earthquakes, right? So the ground is moving and the buildings fall. And the way they decided to fix it was at the bottom of the building, they have these giant pistons. And those pistons are connected to computers, which are connected to seismographic equipment. So when an earthquake happens and the ground starts to move, the seismographic equipment reads it, feeds it to the computer, and the pistons move to adjust it so that the building stays straight up and down while the ground moves underneath it. The building never falls. Mm-hmm. So that's analogous to our arm, right? Those four muscles of the rotator cuff, those are those pistons. So that when I move underneath it, the building stays straight up and down.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Just moving that.
So you have to, yeah, exactly. You have to learn how to keep this line plumb, and the weight of the kettlebell pressing down, assisting this process, gives you the information that you need to make the adjustments. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. And so, therefore, it's a very appropriate way to work the rotator cuff muscles. Mm-hmm. Most of the way people work rotator cuff muscles is inappropriate for how the body functions, and they end up injuring themselves. All right, let's get started with our workout.
Well, it depends on what we're going to do.
We're just going to start with some, I would say grab the 8 for now. Just a little one? The sitting in the middle one. All right. Grab the kettlebell with 2 hands. I'm going to start with some squats. Sit back. Now we're going to pop it up. Bring it down. Now we're going to pop it up. 1, 2, all the way overhead. Now bring it to the bottom. 1, 2. Last one. Shift it to one hand. Bring your feet a little closer. Put this hand to your shoulder. Use your hips to swing the kettlebell up to your shoulder. Sit back and press. Bring it in. 2, 3. Make it easy. Use your hips. 6, 7, 8. Change hands. Nine. Bring it in. Bring it behind you. Push your hips forward. Let it hang and stretch. Bring it back to the middle. Whew. All right. Let's go 10 orbits around the body. 1, 2, 7, 10. The other direction. 10. Nice. Bring it to the middle. All right. Let's do some swings to the rack. Shift your hand to one side of the handle so that your pinky's to the middle. Swing it up to the rack. 1, 2, And change hands. Change hands. All the way up to the top now with a snatch. Yeah, you might want to go a little bit. Bring it down and back up. Hold at the top. Make sure your alignment is proper. And down. Last one. Pull it in. Change hands. All the way up. And again. One more. Hold it up there. Get your alignment proper. Pull it in. Set it down. Okay. So what we're going to do, now that we've learned swing, the high pull, the rack and press, snatch, squat, we're going to do a combo. Woo. So when you just do the swing, the high pull, the rack and press, and the snatch, normally that's called foreplay. Just in keeping with all the rest of the names of the kettlebell exercises.
And the swingers club.
So
funny.
So when you add the fifth one, the squat, you have 5, so foreplay doesn't work. So one of my old kettlebell students, he termed that the 5 tiers of happiness. So
the 5 tiers
of happiness.
All right.
So let's just do this without the kettlebell first so that you get this down. Holding with one hand. Swing. High pull. Elbow comes back. Rack. Press. Now this one goes all the way to the bottom. Snatch all the way to the top. Rack and squat. Now, the changing of hands, that's the swing. High pull. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you change hands, that's the swing. So then the second one is high pull, rack and press, all the way to the bottom, snatch to the top, bring it in, and squat. Excellent. So here we go. Grab your kettlebell. Swing, high pull, rack and press. Now all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. Squat. That's half. Change hands. There's your swing. High pull, rack and press. All the way to the bottom and snatch. And squat. There's one. Change hands. High pull, rack and press. To the bottom and snatch. Squat. Change hands. High pull, rack and press. To the bottom and snatch. Squat. That's 2. Change hands. High pull, rack and press. Snatch. Squat. Change hands. High pull, rack and press. Snatch. Squat. That's 3. 2 more. Change hands. High pull, rack and press. snatch. This is as much of a coordination exercise as anything else. To the bottom, snatch. Last one. Change hands. High pull. Rack and press. Snatch. Last side. And set it down.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I had to make sure that I was using my hips correctly.
Oh yeah. If you don't use your hips, you will burn quickly. You will burn out.
It's a matter of paying attention to all the body parts in that particular combination because you're using literally all of your muscles. Your body.
Okay, so we're going to do some swings now. And then we're going to finish off with a little bit of kettlebell stretching. I'll show you how some of that works. So let's do 2 minutes of swings.
Okay.
Which is going to be 75 swings. 76. Okay. Now wait a minute. Yeah, 72. 36 on each minute. Here we go. And 1, 2, 6, 7, 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. 70. 2 more. Set her down. Whew.
Wow.
Okay. Very nice. Whew. I'm going to adjust this camera angle a little bit. Now, putting your feet on either side of the kettlebell. Feet wide. Keep your legs straight. Keep your hips back. Grab the handle. And don't pick the kettlebell up. Lower yourself down.
That feels good.
Use the kettlebell as a handle to stretch your hamstrings. Now, get your hips low. Slide the kettlebell to one side. Put it between your feet, but up close to one leg. Turn the feet 45 degrees. This hand on the hip, this hand on the inner thigh facing forward. Kick your hip back. Remember, like you're shutting a door. Don't let your hips lean this way. Try and make them lean the other way. Grab the kettlebell. Keep it on the floor, but pull yourself down. Stretching here in the low back, as well as the hamstring.
Does this leg stay?
This one bends.
Okay.
This one
stays.
actually tries to lean towards me. Yes, there it is. Now you're talking. The more you push this point this way, the better. Okay. You can bend this knee if you like. Excellent. Shift it to the other leg. Point your feet towards the kettlebell. Hand on your hip, push it back. Grab the kettlebell. Pull yourself down. This will affect the exercise that we practiced first, the low windmill and the high windmill. This will give you your ability to stretch this area. Do this technique more effective. Now, one more thing we're going to do. You're going to sit down on the ground. Put your feet wide. Put the kettlebell between your legs. Tip it towards you. Grab it by the handles. Grab it by the horns. Put it behind your head. Let go with your left hand. Lean to your left. You can take that left hand and put it on the floor. And allow the weight of the kettlebell, like someone's pushing on your back. Grab the other hand and then let go with this one. Put this hand on the ground. Lean to your right. Allow the weight of the kettlebell to push you down. Now towards the center. Grab the kettlebell. Bring it around. Set it down. Very nice. There it is, folks. There's your kettlebell training for today.
Awesome job. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, son.
Good morning.
Paul Elliott. Hey, guys. Nice to see you today.
And who do we have on my corner? We have, I put my glasses on. Penelope.
Amanda.
Diane Blackburn. Hi, Diane.
Charlotte.
Good morning, Peter Gammo. Charlotte. Good to see you. Amanda Powell. So happy to have all of you here this morning. So Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., we do a kettlebell workout. First part of the workout is some information that Sensei David Hill has about the kettlebell, about your body, how it works. And then the last half or the last 15 minutes is an actual workout. Monday through Friday, it's called the 6 a.m. Swingers Club, which is, I always laugh when I say that.
Yeah.
But
gotta get your attention somehow. It's
Thursday. It's a beautiful day here in the state of Maine. Sending love, peace, happiness, joy to all of those in the world who need it today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope this gets your day off to a wonderful, wonderful start. And as we were saying yesterday, stay tuned for some additions as we go along in the workout. And have a beautiful day. Enjoy this day. We have another chance to have a wonderful day today.
Indeed.
So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow, folks.
See you tomorrow.